All right, folks, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Shihab Majood, and I'm handling the editing services at the libraries. Today, I'll give you an overview of the services, the best way to do it, and I will show you some examples and I give you some stats. And of course, I prefer really after each section, if you have any questions, please just feel free to ask me as we go along. So without further ado, let me go to the first slide I have. This is from Nature, and trust me, from my experience with editing services, I have a lot of foreign faculty members who are native speakers. They use our services. Unfortunately, there is a misconception among faculty members that editing services is for those whose English is not really perfect or whatever. So if I have really good grammar and thing and spelling, why should I send it to the editing services? And this is wrong. Even some faculty members until today they call it proofreading, and it is not only proofreading. As we will see in the presentation, it's more than proofreading, to be honest with you. So I would encourage every one of you to use the services. UAEU started the services 2017, and we have had really excellent feedback from faculty members and all recipients of the services. And the demand is increasing, as we will see later on in the presentation. So let me start with the services. The editing services is exclusively for faculty members, graduate students, and university staff. So undergraduate students cannot use the services, unfortunately, because of university instructions. Okay, so what we do really, we edit, we proofread, we check, we format, references, style, and other services you'll see as I go. And this is really a very important, very useful service from the university. The university has contracted a professional agency, and that professional agency has a pool of editors all over the world, in the US, in UK, in Canada, Australia, and the like, where English is the official language. And we send our papers to them for editing. So it is not in-house, it is not done by non-native speakers, and it is not even within the United Arab Emirates. I'll start first with the types of manuscript editing. Manuscript editing, I have two types. Type number one, enhanced editing, and type two, standard editing. And I will go and explain each one, not with more details, because all the details are listed in the order form which you get when you apply for the service. So in the order form, you will get explanation of each. So you could see the two columns in front of you. Enhanced editing on the left and standard editing on the right. And you could see the features and aspects we check, or our team of editors check, when we send them a manuscript. You will have enough time to view these when we send you the order form. So I'm not going to spend more time on this. This is the second page of it. So this is the editing services. Two types, again, I repeat. And you choose on the order form which type you would like to. The services, take 14 business days maximum. This is before the pandemic development. but we're trying our best to maintain really and to keep that turnaround time as much as possible, to be honest with you. As I go along, I'll give you more details about the services. Number 2 is manuscript preparation services, and this is divided into journal selection service, manuscript submission service, and technical peer review. And this is why I said at the beginning, it is not proofreading. So the first service, journal selection, as I go, journal selection service is a team of experts. We send them the manuscript with a very short form with details, and they shortlist the 3 to 5 best suited journals for the manuscript. And they prepare a report telling us the possibilities, the cons and pros of each. They suggest like your chances here are high to get published, or medium or low, depending on many aspects. And these are the aspects really the experts look at when they decide the type of the journal. So they look at the scope, they look at the impact factor, the design, the manuscript type, is it a review? Is it, a case study? Is it, so all these aspects are considered and studied, and then the experts will send us a report recommending 3 to 5 journals suiting your manuscript. The second one is manuscript submission service. And we try our best not to use this service because it's easy, but to be honest with you, many of, I can't say many, but we have faculty members who are not familiar with the submission process. So what we do, we ask our team of experts to submit a manuscript to the journal on the journal website. Not only submitting it, but they format it. They look into the journal's guidelines. Maybe they recommend further services before submission if they find something, because it's another check. And they draft a cover letter if it is not included already to the journal. And then they create a journal account on the website of the journal, and they choose a password and they enter all the details regarding that particular journal. And then, of course, we send all the information to the faculty members, to the authors, and they can change the password and they follow the whole process through. Of course, the service cannot be done unless the journal itself allow a third party to do the process. Some journals do not accept that, so we get a link and then we send it to the faculty members and he or she could follow the process. The other service is technical peer review service, and this is very deep and a thorough process for scientific journals, for authors and for faculty members who are targeting the top 5, top 10 journals because they believe that manuscript has, novelty, has a big value. So they target really challenging, I would say, journals not easy to get published. What they do in the technical peer review, 2 experts, they look into the manuscript, and they, try to critique it. Of course, they are in the field, engineering, medical field, or other disciplines. Now, these 2 experts prepare a thorough report on the methodology, references, enough or not enough, style, APA, MLA, whatever. And of course, they look into the language, but most really their main job is to prepare a constructive, I would say constructive comments on the whole paper. Okay, And they send us the report with their suggestions and comments, and we send it to the authors. They look into it and they introduce all the changes. If they don't accept, if they reject them, then that's up to them really, especially when it comes to the content matter. And then we send it back for the final revision. This service, of course, is a very expensive service, to be honest with you, and that's why we limit it to top manuscripts, targeting top journals. Guidelines to apply for the services, easy. Just get in touch with the coordinator of the editing services, and then we send the form, and they would like to have all sections of the form filled in. Decide the type of the service you want. Do you want enhanced editing, standard editing, or you want journal selection or whatever? And then, of course, submit everything to the coordinator. What do you get? Before I go into this section, I'd like to stop here and ask the audience if you have any questions so far.
So far, no. Just Dr. Myra asked about if this service is also for graduate student.
Yes, it is free of charge. All services are free of charge for the 3 categories: faculty members, graduate students, and staff, UAEU staff. However, graduate students' theses and dissertations are not covered by the service according to university instructions again. And because this is a support service, what we do really, because we have seen a lot of students don't know where to go for editing their theses. So if they contact us, we would recommend some of these editors to do the editing jobs for them, but the students have to pay on their own and take the whole task, and follow it up themselves. Our job is to recommend the name and give the contact info. And the reason we do that, because all these editors we have in the pool, they are peer reviewed, they have a credibility because we deal with them, and they have agreement with the service provider in terms of integrity and confidentiality. Any questions? Okay. Now, we send the manuscript to the editors and we get it back. When we get it back, we get the manuscript, edited manuscript. We get a manuscript rate card, a lot of explanation, comments, and evaluation. A message from the editors to the authors. And also we have post-editorial support. For enhanced editing, you have 1 year. You submit the paper to a journal, and it doesn't have really good luck with them, so it gets rejected. And you apply for another journal. So you send us back the manuscript for re-edit, or if you choose, reformat according to the guidelines of the new journal. This is for 1 year so far. We can do it. For standard editing, we can do it only once for re-edit service. Together with the edited manuscript and the rate card and the message from the editors, authors get editing certificate. A lot of journals ask for editing certificate because I am sorry to say this, in a lot of cases you can notice that editing, and not only editing, but publishing is getting like business matter, a lot of business in there. So we get rejection from a journal, and the rejection really, some of it may be content, but a lot of it for language editing, or they say there are language problems. So, and in that note, rejection note, they recommend their own editing services. So the whole purpose behind it really making business for that institution in order to use their editing services. You get a cover letter, together. So all these folders, all these files in one folder, okay, are sent to the authors when we complete the editing process. Of course, as I said earlier, rejection shield, you have 1 year or until journal acceptance. For the standard editing, you get re-edit service one time. This is, a screenshot of the rate card you get from the editors when the manuscript is edited. This is a screenshot of the certificate of editing. Okay, the process. What do? We check submitted forms and manuscripts to make sure that all sections of the forms are filled in, because we need the information. We need the general area, specific area. We need the ISSN or any suggested journal you have in mind, because this would help the editors to format your paper or your manuscript according to the guidelines and requirements of the journal. So it does help. Then we send everything to the team and we start follow up with them. The editing services take 14 business days maximum. So far we have once in a while more than 14 days, unfortunately, because of the pandemic developments in various areas of the world. Then we send the files to the authors for comments. They either accept the comments or they don't accept the comments, or they add maybe, reduce maybe, interchanges, changes to the manuscript, and replace or whatever, and then they send it back to us. Some of the authors don't need that. They say, no, we accept all changes, and that's fine, and they send it to the journal. If they send us, the edited manuscript, we send it back for re-edit, which is like 5-6 days, maybe 7 days, business days, and then we send it back to the authors again. But of course, in this case, they do not get other files with it. It's only the manuscript. Maybe there is a message from the editors if there are, certain areas for improvement or comments. Then we follow up with the authors, in order to know the status of the manuscript. And to be honest with you, we have a problem with many authors here. They ask for the service, we submit the service, and they are happy with it, but then they disappear. They don't let us know, and we need the information for the university records. We want to know, how many manuscripts published, how many rejected, how many in the process, and this is needed for the university records. The university wants to know how well we are doing with this service, and how to improve it, of course. Then we have a small form which we ask our authors to do evaluation of the services submitted. So far, we have serviced 663, in fact, until today, 66 UAEU manuscripts have been serviced, okay? And this is 70% of these 666 papers accepted or published, and only 16% still under review by journals, because some of the journals, you have to wait even up to 6 months, 3 months, really. And we have only 14% rejected the authors are trying to resubmit, to change the journal. Some of the authors have left the university and they don't let us know what happened. So it's kind of miscellaneous, result. This is a pie chart showing you the percentages I have just spoken about. Okay, and this is really by years. So when we started, which is the yellow sector, we started in August 2017, and we had only 50 papers submitted to us. Then the next year, 104. Then the following year, 196. And this year, so far, we have more than 313 manuscripts submitted to us since January 2020 until today. This is another, chart showing you by colleges, and you could see this is College of Engineering, 108 manuscripts, College of Business and Economics, 87, and this is College of Medicine. This is the Human Sciences, Education. This is your college, and now, to be honest with you, College of Education, because I think because new faculty members discovered our services, so they urged all students to use the services. That's number one. And number two, because now all dissertations, MSc and PhD dissertations, are required to undergo Authenticate, the similarity check. So because of this, I receive a lot of applications and requests from College of Education. College of Food and Agriculture and so on, CIT and College of Science, College of Law, very low because they use Arabic, most of their papers in Arabic, and I don't know whether I mentioned or not, our services are exclusively for English manuscripts. And then we have miscellaneous, these are staff and people belong to other parts of the university. Any questions so far regarding the editing services? I have a lot of information. I don't think I have given you all the details, but I'm ready now if you ask me about the services.
Yes, we will wait that. Because we didn't receive any question until now.
Yeah, well, that's, I hope it's clear, and that means, everything is fine and easy to take.
Yes. So we will wait just 5 minutes.
Sure, I think they need a break too. They might be thinking of the more details. I do have a lot of information, honestly, about editing services, and I wish I get questions so I can elaborate more.
Because it will, you will see in the Q&A questions.
I didn't get any.
Yeah,
maybe
not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Yeah. Of course, at the end of this presentation, I will give you my email. I will give you some links where you could find more information on the library webpage, and
Dear all, I will put the email for Mr. Shahab in the
yeah,
chat.
I will project it too when we're done. Also, let me add before I move into the next part of my presentation.
Okay.
You can submit as many as you want of these, manuscripts. So it is not limited. I have some faculty members. They have submitted so far only in 2020, they have submitted 8 papers. So there is no limit for this service.
Mr. Shab, you can complete.
Yeah, okay, so before I move into the second part, let me wrap up what I just said about editing services. Get in touch with the coordinator or visit our library webpage, the university website, and there is a link there where you could download the application form, fill it in, and send it to me with a copy of the manuscript in Word format, please, because you're asking for editing. How can we edit a PDF file? This is not easy. I know there are software that we could change it, but that's very complicated, really. One of the things maybe I missed to mention that some formats like LaTeX, which is used by math and some engineering sections, could be edited too. But before we do that, there are special requirements for it, in which authors should send me a copy in Word format, a copy in PDF file, or the LaTeX file, and then because this is required by the editors. That's it regarding really. Just get in touch, ask for the order forms, fill it in, send it to me with your manuscript in Word format. If you have any figures, if you have any tables or charts, send them. One thing you will find in the form that the first step we do is we check the manuscript by Authenticate, the similarity check software. If it has 10% or less according to university instructions, then we will proceed with editing. Of course, we will send you the report, Authenticate report, and then we will explain to you, and I will show you in a minute how detailed the Authenticate report is. And then, if it is more than 10%, the manuscript will be returned to you and edited with, of course, a copy of the Authenticate report, asking you to reduce the similarity percentage. Then we send the paper to the editing services, editing team, and then we wait for it. Sometimes we get it back in 8 days, 7 days, 10 days. And this is, to be honest with you, causing me some problems sometimes because, sir, why did my colleague get it in 7 days and I'm still not getting mine and I submitted? Well, the paper is different. The editing team is different. A lot of circumstances. The pandemic circumstances are different, so you have to bear with us. Okay. The second part of our services at the editing services is Authenticate, Similarity Check software. This is a software purchased by the university. We started January 2020, and we sent announcement to the colleges telling them it's a free service, and this is for, again, faculty members, graduate students, staff members. But the additional thing here, it checks Arabic and English, not only English. That's number one. Number two, all dissertations are required to go through Authenticate. We are 3 administrators right now for the Authenticate, but only one, me, is working on it now. Hopefully, we have submitted a proposal to the university to make it, accessible by all colleges. We have got the response, but there are some technical difficulties that prevented us from doing this. Hopefully, with the new renewal of the license by December 2020, Authenticate will be accessible by all. So here, you don't need a form, you don't need anything. Just send me the manuscript, PDF, Word format, English, Arabic, it doesn't matter. And then we will check it through the system. After checking it through the system, you will get a detailed report. Now, the page you are looking at is page one of the report. A lot of faculty members are asking me about the colors. Why is it red? Why is it magenta? Why is it purple here? Colors do not mean anything here. Just to show you, number 1 is different from number 2, so they put it in different colors. But usually number 1 is the highest percentage. Okay. If you click on the report on sources or source 1, it will take you to the source and it will show you the similarity between your work and the phrases, sentences, the content in the work you quoted or you used. Journals, reviewers, and publishers do not prefer to see more than 2% for a single source. It's considered high. And if it is not high, then it is very alarming for them, and they start, because 2%, it means more than 300 words, usually around that number, more or less. So they, usually 1% for a single source is fine. But if you have used 70 sources, each of which has 1%, that's a lot. The total is a lot again. So you have to work on, I know the percentage may be 9%, but you have used 60 sources, all of them 1%. This is still high. So there are, many ways of calculating this. We at UAEU University, we did not put the parameters. We have checked with publishers, we have checked with reviewers, we have checked with journals, and we followed many universities' parameters. So the suggested percentage is 10%. However, we are tolerant, if it is 11, if it is 12, if it is 1%, and mostly it's technical terms that you can't change. So when I look at these, I could, really suggest and give the tolerance. So it is 11, 10, 11. This is, or even a 12 sometimes for scientific disciplines. But for humanities, it is very strict, to be honest with you. not us, but publishers, journals, and reviewers. So we try to be strict with humanities and follow the 10% index. This is like the same day service, maybe in an hour, 5-10 minutes. It depends on the time available, but it doesn't take long. When we send the report, I do get sometimes 50%, which is very high. Please take it. If it is more than 30%, it means you have to introduce major changes and revision. It is not a matter of changing synonyms, word order, phrases. No, it's more than that, really. And everything is clear in colors in front of you. Go and check the source and check your writing or your content, and then try to work it out. Put it in your own words. This is how to solve the similarity and the plagiarism issue. Unfortunately, some faculty members with high percentage, more than 30, they take it, and 2 hours later they send it back to me. Okay, sir, I checked it, and I haven't introduced changes, and it was 40%. And when I check it again, it's 38. No, it doesn't work like that. Really, this is time consuming, and really give or puts a lot of burden on me and my colleagues too. So please, if it is more than 30%, you need to introduce major revision. Okay, and send it to me. And please tell me, this is the second time. I know I can check it, but it takes time, really. It's easier if you tell me it's already checked, and the second time, third time, because Authenticate goes by the numbers. If we repeat the checking, then there is no charge for 3 times. But if we introduce it as a new document to be checked, then they charge us for it. So this will save the university some money and resources. Any questions about Authenticate so far? I'm not done yet, but
There is a question.
Sure.
From PhD student, how often we can submit our manuscript?
What do you mean how often? I don't understand the question really. You can submit it anytime you want. You can submit it many times. You're talking about, I hope you're talking about Authenticate. You can send it to me 10 times, but I don't prefer that. It means you are working on it bit by bit. So you are, it's very time consuming for me. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Hello?
They just hear us. So there is a second question is, can we send our written task for the Authenticate library service? This is
assignments, college assignments, no. Honestly, it is for papers intended to be published. It is for dissertations and theses. It is for action research required by some faculties. But students' assignment, I would say no, not acceptable. And by the way, the libraries is negotiating, and we're getting a new contract, hopefully soon, to get Turnitin, which is the sister brother software, to check plagiarism for students. So hopefully by the end of 2020 or beginning of 21, we're going to get Authenticate, Turnitin, and this would be available for all students. But Authenticate is for faculty members, for research papers intended for publication. Book reviews, articles, all these are acceptable, really. Grant proposals, anything intended for publication. Okay.
And also there is about one question is, are editing services available to masters and doctoral students?
Yes, that's what I said. If you have a paper and you want to publish it, and you are a graduate student, whether you are first year or final year, yes, you are entitled to get the service free of charge. And I have many students submitted their, papers for publication.
Yes, you can complete, Mr.
Okay, and also to add, there is no limit on the paper. I have papers with 6,000 words, and I have papers with 25,000 words. Okay, it doesn't matter really. What matters here, some of the journals, require certain limits. They don't accept. And we do offer, which I am a bit reluctant to use it, we do have within the service reduction 10% or 20%. But honestly, we ask authors to be careful to use this, because it really it concerns content. And I know the editor is in the field, but still, so that's why when we ask for reduction of 10%, only to meet the guidelines or the requirements of the intended journal. Okay, I have never had a case where somebody submitted 20,000 word manuscript and they're asking to make it 15,000. No, I've never had this, and it would be impossible, honestly. In fact, it is dangerous too. Yeah. Okay, well, this is the second part of the report we send you. All right.